our stuff so that we can pop off. Yeah, I think that's actually something I could have considered on the very first turn because they didn't immediately. So yeah, I could see that. So basically, we would say we minus here to draw one more card.
Nice. Good morning. Welcome back to Dudes on Twitch. Back today with BUG Zenith, which is a newer deck to the Legacy metagame. It's a deck that's put out some really good results pretty much since its inception. It's a mix between a BUG mid-range deck and a Green Sun's kind of value deck. So what we're looking at leveraging Green Sun Zenith. Yeah, the one Astrolabe, I've tested this deck a few times, I've gone through a few reps with it, and the Astrolabe as a one-of is actually really nice. It really helps you with your mana, especially when you have cards like Leovold in the deck and you have Karakas in play. The Astrolabe's been pretty fantastic. Hopefully the creator of the deck's actually going to join us today, which is really nice. So hopefully we'll see him in chat. Well, at least I believe he's the creator. He's done really well with the deck and went, I believe, 7-1 in the challenge to take it out. So the deck is, of course, taking advantage of snow-covered basics. We have the full 4 Ice-Fang Coatls in the deck, which is nice. A double up on Plague Engineer for extra removal against the more fair creature decks. Abrupt Decay is really solid, especially right now with the amount of Delver in the format. Decay is really nice. It's just an uncounterable piece of removal. Brazen Borrower is pretty sweet. Definitely adds to kind of the tempo of the deck, allowing you to bounce anything that you can't answer straight away, and then just to have a 3/1 flyer later on in the game is really nice. Jace just a 1-of, and Oko of course a 3-of, which is nice. I think Oko is pretty good in this deck, especially with so many ways to actually protect it. Especially cards like Ice-Fang Coatl. Ice-Fang Coatl is just not a great card to play against when you're on a creature-based deck, especially when it has Death Touch. You're not wanting to trade something like a Gurmag Gangler for an Ice-Fang or another Reliquary. It's just a really powerful card that I think fits really well in this deck. Not just because it has Flash and Flying, but also because it can be pitched to Force of Will. We can find it with Green Sun Zenith. We can flash it in their turn. We can play it in our turn to try to find a land drop or something, which is really nice. So Ice-Fang's really cool. Hey Buffo, thank you very much. I've already voted and got some coffee, so double up, which is really nice. But thank you very much for coming and hanging out. We have 4 Force and 1 Force of Negation. I could see a second Force of Negation in here, but I haven't seen. I don't have the I don't have the account leverage to actually get a second Force of Negation in this deck. As for the Green Sun Zenith combo package, it's still pretty good. So we have Questing Beast at the top. Questing Beast is just a really good card, especially with a deck that can protect it with Karakas. Courser of Kruphix for just that really good grind effect. Being able to play lands off Sylvan Library is really nice, especially when Sylvan Library's in play. We can set it up nicely. Hey, Goblin Master 999, thanks for coming in. So Sylvan Library as well as a one-of should be really nice, especially with some of these cards that we're playing. Leovold is a double up, I think, just because it's so powerful in this deck. It's kind of nice for Leo to have a home. I think that Jack pointed out that its last home was most likely just 4-color Pile, and before that maybe Shardless Bug. But since then, Leovold's obviously a very powerful card, obviously a card that has a power level to be Legacy playable, but I think it's one of those cards that kind of moves around. It doesn't really have a set home, so really nice to have Leovold here. Uro, of course, sort of the talk of the town right now, and it seems like it's pretty good. I actually have this in paper, which is really funny. I don't have the Uro. The Uro and one Oko I'm off, but the rest of it I do have in paper, thankfully. So that should be pretty sweet. Hopefully when paper ticks back up, I'll get to play this a lot more. Scavenging Ooze, of course, is really nice against the graveyard decks and also just to grind out some opponents. Gilded Goose is there with Noble Hierarchs. Gilded Goose is nice because it creates food for Oko. It gives us a blocker for 1 in the air, which is nice. And as a 0-2, like, Goblin Master 909 would be aware that this blocks things like Goblin Lackey, which Goblin Lackey has seen, I would say, a tick up in play. I think Goblins is seeing a little bit more play now than it was a few months back, especially since Plague Engineer has kind of died down, but, I think Gilded Goose is pretty good. You could play Birds of Paradise, but I think that this deck wants the food a little bit more than just the ability to always have mana. Because I think this deck might be one that might be able to just keep up 2 mana on some terms to act like we have an Ice-Fang, and if we do nothing, we can just create a food, which is kind of cool. To the sideboard for combo decks, we have Flusterstorm, Vendilion Click, somewhat, Veil, and Trinisphere. For extra removal, we have Fatal Push and Liliana. For the grind, we have Tireless Tracker, and for the graveyard, we have Leyline. I'm going to find his name. Fish Duggery, which is the Twitter name of the player that actually took it to the league, was playing Carpenter Flowers in the sideboard, which I think is really good. I think Carpenter is a great pick for this sideboard. Hey, TL Hunter, welcome. Carpenter Flowers is really nice to have in the board against the decks where you want to take out your Hierarchs and your Gilded Gooses. The decks that have things like Terminus or Supreme Verdict, or the decks where your Mana Dorks are going to be just hit by Lightning Bolts. Carpenter Flowers is really nice, especially against Delver, where maybe after pre-board, they might be relying on something like Daze or Spell Pierce to sort of keep your board from going too wide or from developing. So having Carpenter Flowers is really nice because, first off, it's pretty hard to interact with, and then second off, it's just something that can't be actually removed too easily. What time do you think we'll be done? I reckon I'll be done in 3 hours. I reckon this deck will grind pretty hard, so I think 3 hours is probably how much time I want to put into this league. But, BHMTG, thank you very much for putting in the effort to come and see me. That's really cool. And I hope you're doing well in Boston. The Trinisphere is really interesting, especially on the play. In this deck where we do have access to Dryad Arbor, Green Sun Zenith, we pretty much have 9 ways to get, I guess 8 ways because the Dryad Arbor itself isn't one, to get out of Trinisphere on turn 2, which is pretty cool. Trinisphere is a card that I do really like, especially in this deck. It seems kind of cool. So that should be pretty interesting. Reap, what is the best free black removal spell? Interesting. Well, I guess the best free black removal spell is Slaughter Pact? Is that the, you gotta pay 3 in your upkeep? Otherwise, I would say Dismember is a little bit free in the way that it's a lot, you can cast it for 1 instead of paying the full cost. So it's, 33% of the cost. I think Fatal Push is pretty good for its mana, for 1 mana. Snuff Out's also a really good one. Snuff Out, of course, I believe can only target non-black creatures, but still, Snuff Out's pretty sweet. I know Snuff Out sees play in Blue-Red Delver. Blue-Black Delver with Death Shadow sometimes. And is a pretty good card. Definitely, I've been snuffed out a few times, and it's got me pretty hard, so... Contagion is an interesting one. I want to see what that actually does. Contagion is, you may pay 1 life and exile a black card from your hand rather than pay its mana cost. Ah, interesting, okay. I've seen this card in Dredge, because it's a great way to deal with cards like Containment Priest. Yeah, Slaughter Pact's a little bit weird because I'm going to assume that you are going to have to pay the cost anyway. Unless you're winning that turn, you are going to have to untap and, most likely tap out in the deck that you're playing to cast Slaughter Pact. Contagion's really cool. Yeah, Contagion is very interesting. I would actually say Massacre is also up there, which is a pretty good removal spell for what it is. Hey, Obnivs, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? But this is the deck. Let's see how we go. Hopefully we play a pretty good league and maybe play a second one, but we'll see how we feel after this. Get rid of this. I think there's also a prelim coming up. 2 days, 4 days. Challenge, interesting. Legacy League. Food Chain, very cool. We have a I have a friend in Melbourne who is a big Food Chain player. Loves the deck. Food Chain's very cool. I like that you're. I feel like Food Chain is also a Graham King. You're 100% correct. I feel like Food Chain is a deck that people like to stick on, and there's like that Food Chain community that just stick with the deck no matter what, and I very much appreciate that. All right, we have our first match, which is nice. Food Chain is very cool. I highly recommend Food Chain as a... I feel like Food Chain is a mid-range deck with a combo finish, and that's why I really like it. Streaming my Green Sun's Food Chain list tomorrow. That's very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, Phil's doing some good things over at Thraben. Some really nice things. I like the rebrand as well from Thraben University to Thraben because he has, of course, created a bigger range of decks within his arsenal that he can pilot very well. So good on him. Andy on top, very cool. Andy's been playing a 4-color control list. Stypher, of course, plays Stypher Pile. I think Lewis is on Delver, and I believe Matt Searle has been on a few sort of Loam / Green Sun Zenith decks, which is cool. Hey, Lord, welcome. We are on the draw against Rajanosa. And this hand is interesting. The one thing that I don't like about this hand is that we have to use the fetch land to cast turn on Noble Hierarch, which might lead to a Brainstorm lock, but I think being able to have... This is a hand where I might just go like Island Pass and hold up Brainstorm rather than cast the Noble, but I guess it also depends on what we want to draw on turn 1. I think we'll definitely keep this. The Brainstorms make it a lot better. Lotus Petal, okay. Well, that's kind of scary. I think a Lotus Petal side is always pretty rough. Tinderwall. Okay, so this is going to be Beltcher. Interesting. Yeah, I think it's safe to say you never mull with Brainstorms, especially with the fetch lands as well. I was trying to think if we have an out to... I guess Plague Engineer is an out to Goblins if they go for an early empty. But if they go for a Goblin Char Belcher, it's going to be a little bit tougher. Maybe LED is our last card? It is. Wow. Nice. Alright, I guess we can just hope the Taker's on top. Unfortunately. Belcher's going to be an interesting one. Do we survive? We do not. Rough. Alright, well let's this is a pretty like, you jump into the deep side of Legacy and you hit Belcher. So Belcher's going to be interesting. I definitely like Collector Ouphe and Pithing Needle. Trinisphere is pretty nice as well. Flusterstorm can most likely come in. Veil doesn't do anything. Leyline doesn't really do anything outside of Rider Flame. I don't believe they play Rider Flame. That's incorrect. Click's probably over here as well. So I think taking out... this is probably an interesting one. Magic is cool. Force is definitely staying in. Green Suns is definitely staying in because we want to find this Ouphe straight away. They play Echo now? Okay. Well, maybe Leovold is enough for Echo and also Force of Will and Fluster. Hopefully. What don't I want? I guess Brazen Borrower is kind of nice because we can bounce. That's like another piece of interaction with the actual Belcher. Full Coatl, 1 Astrolabe, 1 Uro. I could definitely see that. Maybe even Scooze. I kind of like Astrolabe because it can fix my mana. There might be times where I need the extra mana for something like Leovold if we are playing against a deck with Echoes of Eons. You cut screws before Lab, yeah. I think this is a fine piece. Hey, Julian, very cool. 2 raids in 2 days. A huge thank you. That is very cool. A huge thank you. We're currently playing BUG Zenith for everyone who's come in. My name is Dukes on Twitch. I play Legacy Maverick, but I also play some other decks such as BUG Zenith, which we are playing here. We are playing against Beltcher. We lost game 1, so we're looking at the board now. We're looking to bring in Collector Ouphe, Pithing Needle, Trinisphere, Flusterstorms, and Click, taking out Uro, Scavenging Ooze, and 4 Ice-Fang. This is pretty good, because at least the Abrupt Decays can still go after things like Chromox, and the Plague Engineers are quite nice. Courser's probably a little bit dead. Maybe there's something better than Courser. Maybe I don't mind Ice-Fang because it can actually just... it pitches to Force, and it's also a redraw effect. Yeah, I think Coatl's fine of course, because as you said, it does allow me to force a little bit easier, because we are taking out, 3, 4 blue cards in this deck. So let's see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. How'd you go with elves overall? This hand is fine. It's a little bit rough because it's a 1-lander, but I like the Flusterstorm. But that's really the only reason I like it. Maybe I don't like this hand because it's not really doing anything else. 3-2. Nice. This is keepable. I really want that second land, at least to try to get this Ice-Fang to switch out for a new card. I guess we can also end-step Brainstorm on turn 1, which of course isn't the greatest thing, but otherwise, I think I'm happy to keep this and see how it runs. Just draw and sorcery speed it. I guess we get to see an extra card. The only thing that if we don't Brainstorm end step and then don't find another land is then we can't hold up Flusterstorm. We do see one less card by end stepping, which is tough. I don't believe Beltcher plays Veil of Summer. Hopefully not. Land Grant, interesting. Flusterstorm's an interesting one. I don't think I'm supposed to keep it until the Empty the Warrens. I think I'm supposed to hit something like a Ritual effect. Tinderwall's gonna be fine. Everyone plays Veil of Summer? Yeah, that's fair enough. I guess we can keep the Flusterstorm for Empty the Warrens, and if they go for Beltcher, we can try to Brainstorm into Force of Will or Force of Negation, but that's cutting it fine. Flusterstorm, the spell that gets to 4 mana. Rite of Flame's going to be fine, because I probably want to cast Flusterstorm on the second Rite of Flame, not this one, if there is a second one. Seething Song. Okay, I think this is definitely a cut that I can hit. They're also down to 4 cards, so this seems like a pretty good hit. What do I want to get? I think I want to get Underground Sea. I could also go for Trop. I think because we have a higher count of green than black, I want to get black now because we're most likely to draw into a fetch land or a green source. The Taiga was revealed off the land grant. Okay. Rough. So I can Brainstorm here to try to find another land, which I think is definitely worth doing. Especially if we find a fetch land, we can put back Oko and most likely Abrupt Decay. I think I really like just trying to find my mana and trying to actually start putting out something. And this is pretty great. So let's put back Oko. And probably Decay here. And then I don't mind just green sunning for Dryad Arbor. And then we can cast Leovold the following turn. Or even hold up Green Sun Zenith. Hold up Vendilion Click. Oh. We get the shuffle now as well, which is really nice. And now we just hope they don't go up this turn and try to act like we have something. Gamble most likely for either LED or Echo. I guess an Echo wouldn't be too bad because we can draw into a Force hand. Ah, interesting, okay. Gamble. So they have Burning Wish, they've played this, they've played Tinderwall, they've played this. They've also drawn a card for turn and gambled for something. Well, Force is really nice. So I think he would just play out Leovold and then hold up Force and Click. I could also play Click in their draw step to see their hand. Which I think is probably a little bit safer. And then we can see if Leovold's actually going to be good. Because either way we're going to be attacking for 3 the following turn to start getting some pressure down. So Leo is Collect. Correct. I guess the only card that I'm worried about is Veil. I don't think they would have brought it in because we didn't show anything in game 1. But yeah, I like Click, but if chat's saying Leo, we'll go Leo. At least we do have Force backup as well, which is nice. Tinderwall. I think this is fine, and then we can counter the next thing it comes down. Or even the Burning Wish. It's just going to be a pass. Interesting. I guess we can also Elk this now. I guess Ouphe is really nice. Might as well attack for 3 and then play Ouphe. I could also play the Ice-Fang Coatl to try to draw a card. Or try to draw into a land for Ouphe, but I think here attacking with Leovold's fine. Click in response to any spell. Yeah, I don't mind that. I think that Ouphe is fine to play there, but I think having the Click and Force is pretty good. And then we can pitch probably the Ice-Fang to the Force of Will. Seething Song. Okay, so here I'm happy to actually look at their hand and see what they have. And then we can see if we want to counter this or counter something else. Click, we'll target them. They have 2 Wish. They can't land grant for anything. So this is fine. We can just keep this right now. Because they're only going to 5 mana. And then I'm pretty happy to hit this one. because then they have to use 2 mana on the next one. And then we know about Land Grant and Echo. Hey, a hero, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Chain Lightning, interesting. Going after the Leovold. That's pretty cool. That's gonna be fine. We get to draw. Can we draw a Force? No, okay, that's fine. Hey, Chasing Icarus, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? I'm just gonna play Ouphe here and then play most likely Jace the next turn to see if we can Jace into a Force. Yeah, I assume because Collector Ouphe turns off LED, which is really nice, so the Echoes is now turned off for a bit. Misty's pretty nice. Yeah, I like brainstorming for the Force of Will, because if I put something to the bottom of their library, that's great, but then I don't know what's coming. And at least I know two cards in the hand are dead. Veil of Summer, okay. So to me, at least that was kind of desperate, because they could have kept that to try to go off in their turn without being countered. Don't crack fetches before brainstorming. They're at 8, so we can actually just go for... Did we keep Inquesting Beast? We did keep Inquesting Beast. Nice. Might as well brainstorm. Okay. They see that we have lethal, which is nice. Do we want to change anything? I don't think we do. Seeing the Veil was interesting, but I don't think it's enough to warrant any changes. I think this is fine. I could see a switch in Decay for Leyline, just to turn off any sort of fast Echo starts. Especially if they are playing Veil, maybe I want to have a different way to attack them than just counter magic. And maybe Leyline is that. Because Decay can hit things like Chromox and Tinderwall, but usually if they're playing out their Tinderwalls or Chromoxes, they're winning that turn, or at least trying to. So being able to Decay them is more of a luxury than something that's going to happen in every game. So I could see something like this. And at least in this deck, with Leyline, you can brainstorm it away. What do I want to drop? I still think Trinisphere on the draw is fine. Yeah, maybe it is just the one Ice-Fang. And we'll see how this slides. Yeah, the blue count luckily is still quite high. And this hand is pretty nice. We don't have a counterspell in hand, But we do have Leyline and Brainstorm, so... We also have a second blue card if we do Brainstorm into 1 Force, which is nice. So if my opponent keeps a hand that relies on Echo, then we're good to go. But if they're going to just win this turn, or at least try to win this turn, then we've got a bit of an issue. I think this is fine. Oof, coffee's getting cold. Gotta always make sure that you drink your coffee as you stream. Hey, Xardian, thanks for coming in. We're currently in game 3 against Beltcher. Bringing in the Leyline because we did see Echoes in game 2. Hey, Dreadnought, welcome. Hope you're well. Congrats on your 3-1 yesterday with Band Maverick Depths. I love how our beverages are always the opposite. Haha, having a beer for me, please? Hey, Basic Swamps, welcome. Yeah, I wanted to play it for a while, which is really nice to finally get it. So it's quite expensive on MTGO, especially when you think of Ice-Fang Coatls at 25 ticks each, like Force of Negation's like 70, Brazen Borrower's like 35, insane. I kind of just want to pause to act like I have something, but if they're doing this much so fast, I'm a little bit scared. Yeah, Ice-Fang used to be 50. Insane. Yeah, I guess we are dead as well. Unfortunately. I do like the games against Beltcher where you don't die turn 1, because then they are a little bit more interactive. But, yeah, pretty tough. Yeah, I'm not sure. I would love to know if the Beltcher players that I play against quite often are the same, like, actual player. Please no LED. Oh, okay. Interesting. So we do have draws. We can draw on a Pithing Needle. Force is nice because we can force anything that they play. I think here we just want to go Astro Pass and not hold up Brainstorm. Definitely playing the Underground Sea. I guess we can't cast this yet anyway, and I kind of want to just hold up Brainstorm here. Just a pass. Nice. Noble. Interesting. Noble's kind of cool because we can get to 3 mana next turn by green sunning for Ouphe to turn off Beltcher, and then we still have Force of Will, so I don't mind tapping out here for... or at least going down here for the Noble Hierarch. I could cast Astro first as well, that's very true. Land Grant. That's going to be fine. Gamble. I think this is okay because if I hit this and they have LED in hand, Oh, they revealed their hand as well. Is this their hand? Reveals their hand, Land Grant, Burning Wish, Gamble, Gamble. Well, I assume we just hit this because they have no mana left. And next turn we can just cast Green Sun Zenith anyway. I guess we can also just counter whatever they get, so there's no real point. We might as well see if LED just goes to the graveyard. I need the other Brainstorm if they have Veil of Summer, which we've seen. So if they had Taiga and then something else, we'd have to try to like Brainstorm into another Force. But yeah, I still think, yeah, Astrolabe there is probably correct. Oof. Haha, classic. Well. Hopefully. Hey, Jacka, 1983, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what you play in Legacy. I probably want to click them in the draw step. That's fine. I guess they can Burning Wish for Chain Lightning. Jace. Kind of just want to fun up Brainstorm. Yeah, maybe I should be more aggressive with my Fate Sealing. Because now we definitely have to make sure that they can't... well, they're most likely going for Burning Wish into Chain Lightning on the Ouphe. Oh! Okay. Out of jail. Out of jail. I'm sorry, chat. We should have brainstormed there, and I should have listened to the chat. I apologize. I apologize so much. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That was a poor play. That was a poor play. Fate Seal them. Empty is fine. Apologies, guys. Apologies. I'm sorry. I'll play tighter, I swear. Alright. I'm just gonna play this because I want the extra creature. We'll name Goblin, and hopefully we'll start this league as a 1-0. Hey, Ari, welcome. Yeah, I like that play as well. I think bottoming Burning Wish is probably pretty good as well, because that's probably the only out. Is probably something in the sideboard, not so much in the main deck. So with clicking the Burning Wish, that's probably a pretty good play as well. You played Bug Depths last night? Very cool. How'd you go with Bug Depths, Jono? Rough. Not playing Ponders. Yep. (3-2), nice. Yeah, just Fate Seal, that's fair. Especially against a deck like that. Like, if we can Fate Seal and hit something like Prioritic Ritual, then we're pretty happy. Yeah, it's fair. There's not too much Beltcher locally in paper for me. There was a while ago, but most of the times that we play against it online, we're playing a fairer deck, so we don't have the out of Force of Will. So most of the games against Beltcher that I'm used to are pretty quick, to be fair. On the play against Chiggywig, nice. I don't mind this hand because of the Brainstorm. We can most likely find green mana later on. And we can just play this out for pretty much an Oko on turn 3. We'll see how this goes. It has some nice cards in it, so... Just gonna lead with the island because I don't want to get Wastelanded turn 1. Yeah, I think non-blue just has a little bit less of an out. Haha. Verdant. Mox Diamond. Okay. This could be Loam. This most likely is Loam. Most likely not a Depths deck. Okay, looks like a Bug deck. Bob. Bob is pretty good. Bob is interesting. If I really wanted to force this, I could Brainstorm here, but I'm trying to think of other outs we have. The rough thing is that I'm gonna expect most likely a Wasteland next turn, so I kind of want to draw into a basic. Haha, if you can't beat him, join him. Yeah, BUG Zenith grinds pretty well. I'm gonna let this resolve, and we'll see if we can just draw into a few more things. Abrupt Decay is a pretty good out as well. I don't mind the Delta here. I could go and get Bayou and Green Suns straight away. And it means I'd have to have 2 outs to... So here, if we go Polluted Delta into Green Suns for Noble Hierarch, we also have a way to get Oko out the following turn through 2 different sources. Hey Zenta, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? I'm just going to go for the Trop because we have 2 and then go for Noble here. Hey Etholon, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? To be fair, they could also think we're on the same kind of deck, but Wasteland here is pretty rough, especially if they also have something for the Noble Hierarch. Another Mox into Oko would be pretty rough. Knight, okay, not too bad, but still pretty brutal. They only have the one trop now, so I don't mind playing Oko off this basic. And then just trading the Oko away. At least then the Courser blocks the 3/3 for a while after that. But we currently don't have a second green source for the Courser. Mana traders or card hoarder? I'm currently with card hoarder, and I really like them. Card hoarder's pretty nice, especially with their loan strategy. We could also try to brainstorm into Abrupt Decay. We can also do that off basics, which is kind of nice. But I think just turning off their Dark Confidant here is pretty good. I don't want them getting any more cards. So although I'm kind of throwing away this Oko, I'm okay with that. So most likely Knight at Oko and Dark Confidant at us. I guess we can just 6 this as well. Uro's pretty good. Uro's coming down next turn as well, because the fetch land represents the 5th card. Days in Winter Orb sound pretty fun. Okay, let's see if we can find some Green Suns. Green Suns for Skoos isn't the worst, but we can't eat the Uro currently. We do have Karakas for Uro, but that's a pretty bad answer for it. I don't mind putting back Gilded Goose and putting back the Noble Hierarch, and then we can Green Suns for another Noble. But then we're pretty much dying next turn. I guess we could also Green Suns for Ice-Fang Coatl, which won't have Death Touch, but it will have Flash. Or it will draw us a card. So do I want to go for another mana producing creature or go for Ice-Fang here? I think we have a few outs. I'm gonna go for Ice-Fang. Yeah, it's definitely probably as grindy as Allurin, but just without the combo finish. Loam. Okay. Loam's pretty good. Another Bob. They're at 21 as well, so... I think I just have to take this, and then hopefully draw into another Ice-Fang. I guess we can also Zenith for another Ice-Fang. They don't have any reach, which is good, but not the greatest. Leovold doesn't do it. Draw a land? Decay. I guess now we're just dead anyway. Yeah, because we can't draw. We can't play the Noble Hierarch as an extra blocker. If we block these two, we're still taking 3. They do have Death Touch, but we're on 3, and we're taking 3. Unfortunately. This is an interesting one. I do like Leyline, especially against if they're playing Loam as well. The Forces I'm not the biggest fan of. Courser's interesting, but it does block a lot of their early starts, which is nice. It also allows us to play a little bit around Wasteland in that we can also use the top of our library as our hand for extra mana. They're playing Chalice, but I think we have enough answers to Chalice anyway, especially in Abrupt Decay and Oko. I like the Fatal Push. Liliana's interesting. Tracker's pretty nice. Hey, Alpaca. Thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. And the follow. A huge thank you. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? A huge thank you. What don't I like? The Ice-Fang seems great. Maybe Questing Beast just isn't... They probably are playing a Karakas, and Questing Beast isn't great against their Knights and their Uros. Force of Negation is interesting. I think Force of Negation is great against Life in the Loam, but if we're bringing in Leylines to hit Loam, then I don't mind taking out the Force. Collector Ouphe is interesting because it can turn off Mox Diamond, but that's really it. If we really want to go after their mana, we can. I think second Leovold can most likely come out. It's pretty good against their Wasteland strategy, though. Borrower is pretty nice at just having some tempo. I don't mind these because they don't die to anything early on. Look at in Toronto, Canada. I play Grixis Delver and Bug Lands, also considering building BUG Zenith and paper as well. Yeah, it seems like a pretty fun deck. A lot of different options, especially with the amount of card draw in the deck, but otherwise this deck's been really fun. Needle's an interesting one if I really want to play around Wasteland or Knight. But I think that Leyline kind of just neuters Knight a little bit as well, which is nice. I think the card draw of Leo is just so good, and at least if we have a second one, we don't have to deal with it. I just don't like 2-for-1ing myself against these type of strategies, so I don't like the Forces for that reason. I want to try to stay ahead and have most of my cards as ways to deal with them, and also draw a card off it, like Ice-Fangs and the Astrolabe's pretty nice against a Wasteland deck because it allows us to make sure we're always on at least one color. The old one-lander with Leyline, this is a hand that I don't like keeping because although it has a Leyline, it doesn't really have much play to it otherwise. The snow-covered island most likely means we're not casting Abrupt Decay on turn 2. And I want to have something a little bit better. Although this doesn't have Leyline, this is actually a little bit better. The Sylvan Library is really nice. So I might just lead with Snow-Covered Forest, and then we can just go for Snow-Covered Island off the Polluted Delta. Means we also have Ice-Fang pretty early on, which might be able to snag a Dark Confidant if they get too aggressive with it. So I think I might keep this and bottom the Jace, because everything else we can cast pretty early on. I could also see myself dropping the Tracker, because we can Green Suns for it later, and we already have Sylvan Library, and in that case, Jace. My opponent is on what looks to be Bant or Bug. Probably Bug, yeah. It's Bug Loam. Yeah, don't underestimate Ice-Fang's power. Ice-Fang's especially good when we know what's on top with Sylvan Library, which is really nice. We're definitely keeping this. It's really between Tiles Tracker and Jace. I think the Tracker I want later on. I'm happy to keep the Jace in hand. Alright. Forest Pass. A Mox Diamond start is always going to be the most powerful for my opponent. Maybe they're just going for like a Green Suns for Dryad Arbor as well. Mox Diamond. Bob's fine. Ice-Fang. So we could just go land pass, or we could tap out for the Sylvan Library. I think tapping out for the library is fine. I'd probably rather get it into play a lot faster than this Ice-Fang Coatl. And maybe if my opponent just attacks this turn, they might be likely to attack next turn as well. Library just, it makes them have to have something like Abrupt Decay right now, and we can also just go straight through it. I think because I'm not really knowing what I'm looking for yet, because my Ice-Fangs answer this Duck Confidant if it attacks, I kind of want to keep the Brainstorm for when I really need it. Put on top. And I could see myself keeping the Ooze. Get down to 13. But then maybe these can trade for the Duck Confidant and allow the Scoos to start eating as well. I think it's a card that we can, because we don't have Leyline, we can use it pretty well to make sure their graveyard doesn't go out of whack. So I want to keep this. Play a land and pass. Rexage. Rexage is pretty good. Another Mox. Cabal Pit. Interesting. Rexage is nice. Don't have a way to really stop this, so that's going to be fine. At least our Ice-Fangs trade pretty well with these creatures as well. I definitely want to fetch before I play the Ice-Fang Coatl. Bog, Ast is fine. No attacks. Smart. I probably want to go for a dual land here, so I can play the Ooze out, and most likely eat something from their graveyard. I'm going to go for a Bayou, so we have access to black, but also double green. Plague Engineer would be nice. Another Ice-Fang, okay. Leyline. I could Brainstorm here and try to hit another source of blue, or I could play Scavenging Ooze and then just tick it up, most likely on Cabal Pit, if they do have a Loam in hand. If they wasteland me though, we're not really getting anywhere, and we're just getting behind a mana, so I don't mind Brainstorm here, hopefully for a land, and then either play Scoos if we don't find a blue source. Okay, that's pretty nice. So now we have a great way to deal with a Duck Confidant. So we're definitely putting back Leyline. And I think we might just be putting back Ice-Fang number 2. As good as it is, I kind of want these powerful cards in my hand like Oko, Jace, Plague Engineer, and Scavenging Ooze, so I think second Ice-Fang is fine. Play a Delta. Could go for Trop because it's another blue source and it also allows me to use Scavenging Ooze a little bit better late in the game. So I don't mind going for double duel here. I do have options. I can Plague Engineer Human or I can Oko. I think just getting rid of the Duck Confidant is nice here. Especially since our Ice-Fangs don't have Death Touch. The other Ice-Fang turns on the Ice-Fang as well, which is nice. This could just be like a Sword Splashes. Barrenmore, okay. Interesting. They also have 6 minutes on us, so I gotta be pretty quick. Ashiok's pretty good. Hey, Dead to be a Donut, welcome. Currently playing BUG Zenith against what looks to be BUG. Interesting, they're keeping this at 5. They're not doing anything. We can't Green Suns. We can Oko. We can also try to Ice-Fang into a creature. Or into a threat. I don't mind that. Jace is also pretty good. Yeah, Ashiok with Uro is really nice. This is a tough one. Now's a pretty nice time to have Jace in the mix. I think just Jace because we can actually cast it. And we can protect it right now. I probably also just want to Brainstorm for a land here. Well, Abrupt Decay is kind of nice. I could attack them because Ashiok is most likely to be dealt with the Abrupt Decay, but if they Wasteland us, then that's pretty tough. Ooh, Decay, okay. That's fine. Jace going to 1 isn't the worst because I don't believe they have a Way of Reach. They don't run Exalted, they don't run Punishing Fire. Engineer's pretty good because it also names Snake. At least we do have the mana right now for Abrupt Decay and then. I don't believe they play Retreat. I don't think they're that all in. Brainstorm. Could bounce. They only have 1 card in hand. I kind of want to find a land here. Put back Leyline. And probably put back Green Suns and play the Dryad Arbor. What do I want them to mill? I think Green Suns is fine. Play the Dryad Arbor. Could try to Elk something here if we wish. I guess Oko, Elk, Dryad Arbor isn't the worst either. I think we just pass with Decay up and Ice-Fang Coatl. The Ashiok's pretty annoying, but I like Decay on Plague Engineer, then play the Ice-Fang Coatl. And then hopefully we can just swing at the Ashiok next turn for 2 to kill it. Yeah, Elking the Dryad Arbor is a pretty nice play as well. Black. Decay this. I wonder if they have swords. That's fine. We draw the Green Suns? We draw the Leyline. Okay, we draw the Green Suns, which is nice. Definitely want to keep the Jace. I could keep the Ice-Fang around if I wanted to Green Suns for an Exalted creature next turn. Let's see what they hit. Ice-Fang, Decay total. Okay. Leyline. Interesting. I don't mind Karakas, so we can put back this and put back this, and then just play out the Karakas. We can also play Oko. Maybe I want to get 2 cards into play. So maybe I want to go... Put on top, put on top. Play Karakas. Okay. Create a food. Pass. Now if we want to draw... Now we're happy with this. There goes Leyline and land. Alright. Ice-Fang. Ooze is pretty nice as well, but I kind of want to play it when we have mana up just to get some sort of value out of it. Nice. Now we can... I guess we could have also activated this. Put on top. Put on top. Play a land for turn. Leo. I'm just gonna pass like this. I want to hold up Karakas. I don't want to play Ooze out yet. Knight's fine. Yeah, I think we want to brainstorm first, and then see what we want to do with the Jace. Because I also just have the beatdown plan of just attack, attack. Nice thing. Put on top, put on top. Do I still have Noble Hierarch in the deck? We do. No, I'm happy just to pass. We'll play Scooze. We haven't used Jace. Okay, we'll Fate Seal them. Just to tick it up. Uro can go to the bottom. They do have 10 minutes on us, so hopefully this doesn't go to just a... Ugh. Maybe I don't want to pay for the, Let's make this a bigger creature for now. Alright. Yes for Scooze. Probably don't want to keep Noble Hierarch. We want to keep Leovold. And I kind of just want to keep the Ice-Fang for now. Now I don't mind just going Tick this up. Bounce this. Attack with all. 3. This is 11. I'm sure there's other ways to do this, but hopefully we do okay. Tabernacle vs. Oko feels bad. Haha. Yeah, it does. Do I want to change anything? Leylines were kind of meh. Haste Boys is nice. Do I want to change anything? Click's interesting because I don't think they have any flyers to block with. Yeah, Metzol, what do you think of Force? I don't like Force because I don't like 2-4ing myself against this type of deck. I think that's how you get too far behind. But do you think there's threats in the deck that are worth keeping Force in for? Like, to be fair, if you're forcing a Bob, you're probably coming out with sort of a level advantage because they're not getting the card advantage off Bob, and, you know, you're trading that for going down a card. You think I want Force? What would you cut for Force? Or how many Force would you leave into the deck? Better than Leyline? Interesting. Yeah, so maybe then would you keep in Force of Negation for something like Life in the Loam, which they are playing, and then just go for 3 Force of Will over the Leylines? Like, would you, like this? Cool. As a Miracles player. I think this is fine. We'll see how this goes. We do have only 8 minutes, so hopefully it stacks up alright. It is definitely a very grindy deck. Oh. I think this hand just doesn't have... It's got a lot of mana, which is nice, but I don't have a great answer to something like a turn 1 Bob. I kind of want to make sure I'm, you know, nobling into an Oko or something, so... Ah! Classic, the old click keep. Alright. Classic. To be fair, we're gonna be able to cast everything we have, which is nice. So, Jace isn't too bad. I'm just gonna go for drop into Noble Hierarch. I could fetch there for the basic forest if I wanted to play around Wasteland, but I think I'm happy with this. We're gonna be craving some paper magic after all this cleanup. Yeah, the virus has definitely hit paper magic pretty hard, which is probably, you know, not the biggest concern, but from a social aspect, it's obviously pretty good for mental health to get out and have some fun with your friends. So, yes, I think paper magic is going to be pretty nice when we get back to it, hopefully. Ashiok, okay. But no tick down, interesting. Yeah, an early Jace would be really nice, and that's what we can do with this hand, which is nice. Then we can take away... We can probably just play a fetch land and get rid of some of these extra lands. I can probably 6 here as well, to be fair. Screws is fine. Alright. I guess we can't fetch anyway. So let's go for... probably land first. Into Jace. And then maybe we can attack with the Gilded Goose if needed. We can also just bounce the Ooze here, which I don't mind. We can bounce the Ooze, try to find a better blocker next turn, or removal. Because the Jace most likely isn't going anywhere next turn, which is nice, and now we can just 6 and try to save some time. The reason I didn't want to Brainstorm there was that we probably just lose to the Ooze. Especially if it just eats the Plague Engineer in the bin that does nothing else. Nissa Vital Force. Rough. Rough. Did not play around Nissa. Okay. Course is a nice start. Brainstorm on top. Play a land. We might as well attack Uro. Sorry, Ashiok. Probably just 6ing here as well. Questing Beast is in the deck, which is nice. We can't get it right now because of Ashiok stopping us from searching our library. But maybe next turn we can get it out. Cabal Pit's pretty good, especially with Loam. I don't believe we did. I believe we kept it in. Oh, we did take it out. Rough. It just doesn't line up against their creatures too well, which is kind of tough. All right, Brainstorm on top. Can we find Decay? Decay on Courser. All right, can't stop that. Rough. Ashiok doing a lot of work here. I guess we can make food, but other than that, it's pretty rough. Oh, we still get the shuffle? Interesting, okay. Then maybe it's worth keeping the extra land there. But yeah, we definitely lose to this, unfortunately. Rough. I meant to mulligan that hand. But I think otherwise, there's not really a hand that beats that. The Nissa's really good and something that we can't really deal with. Yeah, Ashiok's pretty sweet, especially in a lot of these Loam decks where you can get it out early. It's really nice. And it's obviously doing a lot against your opponent as well, who's most likely playing a similar deck. So there's a lot of Green Suns running around, there's a lot of fetch lands running around, of course. Rough. This hand is fine, we'll keep this. A little bit on the fair side, but at least we can get these Ice-Fangs out pretty early on. Yeah, but to be fair, if it's getting to Nissa, I'm probably trying to force something before that, like a Knight or a Dark Confidant. Oko. I'm just going to go for probably a Trop here into Green Suns for Dryad Arbor. And then hopefully get to Oko next turn. Yeah, I'm not going to compare Loam and Miracles. Two vastly different decks. Scooze is fine. We have the Decay, which is nice. We also have the Oko, which is pretty good. I don't mind Noble here and then just Decay their Scooze. Scooze isn't doing too much right now either, so I could just hold up Ice-Fang Coatl. The biggest upside is Oko. Brainstorm's fine. Is Astrolabe still in Pauper or not? Okay. I don't mind Ice-Fang here just to try to draw into an extra threat. Or an extra land, sorry. Uro. Goose is interesting because then we can just tick up Oko on its food, which is nice. So I don't mind Goose here. Oko and Goose work pretty well as well. Let me just pass. I don't want to attack with the food, I want to keep it back for the Scoos, which currently doesn't have anything to eat, which is nice, so it is only a 3-3. A 2-2. Uro's fine. Can't be escaped quite yet. Green Sun Seal would be pretty nice. Plague Engineer. Oko's pretty interesting. I do like getting aggressive here at least. With these 2 3/3s. And then probably just going with our own Oko Uro here. Could also hold up Ice-Fang and Noble Hierarch, which is kind of nice. I kind of want to build out my mana, so I don't mind going for Noble and holding up either Decay or Ice-Fang. Maybe I should have Ice-Fang there to try to get the extra land drop. Leovold. I think in response to Leo, I'm happy just to deal with the Ooze. It also means Ice-Fang's turned off. We can also Elk this as well, which is nice. Okay. I guess we can also trade. That's pretty nice. I don't mind that. Let's go for... create a food, and then trade the food. They get to draw a card off this, which is fine, but then we get to attack in for a 7, which is kind of cool. Now I don't mind playing Ice-Fang to see if we can draw into another land. And then it's going to concede. So they obviously saw that we had just so much value. So many cards are 2 for 1. It kind of looks like the mirror, but are they playing white? I didn't see white actually. So the mirror is going to be interesting. I think Tracker's pretty good in the mirror, although Leovold does kind of shut it down. Although Clues we can crack in their turn, which is cool. Fatal Push seems okay. Ice-Fang seems okay, especially against some of their threats. This is probably like a no Force Negation kind of matchup. Could see myself going down on a Force of Will as well. Maybe even some amount of mana dorks if they are on Plague Engineer. Could be 4-color Snowco. Yeah, I do like going down on forces. Last Hope is also interesting, but doesn't really... I guess if they have Ice Fangs, it's kind of nice, but otherwise it doesn't do a whole lot. And it's kind of weird with Leovold in play. Bring in Veils. Veils are pretty cool, because also if they have Abrupt Decay, it does stop that, which is nice. I don't mind going down on Hierarchs. I think just keeping 2 mana dorks is nice, especially against a deck that most likely has Engineers. I think this is fine. We'll see how this goes, and then if there is a third, we can make some changes. Veil is pretty good against Mirror. Yeah, definitely. I think it's a lot better on the play, but it's also very nice just to have. And this hand is pretty solid. Get a turn on Noble Hierarch, and then we do have a turn 2 play in Plague Engineer if we wish. We also have Questing Beast, which is kind of nice on turn 3. I think this is fine to keep. This game's most likely going long, so just to have my mana available to me early on is really nice. Hey, Alpaca, what is Legacy like in Toronto? If anyone else is from Canada, I would love to know what Legacy like is in Canada, because me and my girlfriend did have a trip booked for October, so hopefully we get a chance, but otherwise it's not looking too nice. Veil's interesting. I could just hold up Veil and pass, but I think playing Noble Hierarch is just so much better because we have so many good 3-drops in the deck. The upside of being able to go snow-covered into Noble is pretty fine. Yeah, I think that our trip will most likely be 2021, but you never know. We'll see how it slides. Bayou. Okay. So at least Decay on Noble Hierarch isn't the worst if this is the play. Looks like just a Sylvan Library, okay. Plague Engineer. I think in the blind, Elk is just the best name. Airlines get a lot of demand in 2021. That's fair enough. Alright, we're gonna go for a basic snow-covered mountain and just play Engineer. And I'm just gonna name Elk. I think Elk is probably the best name. I could go for Snake, but I think Elk is fine. Name Snake. Snake means we can actually attack pretty well. Maybe that's okay. Hey, Oratar, thanks for the follow. Thanks for the raid. That's really nice. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Sylvan here I can see at least taking 1 card. I think with only Plague Engineer on the field, we can probably take it pretty slowly, so there's not too much pressure on the board at the moment. Henlaw. Alright. It took 1 card. I do like these snow-covered lands. They're pretty cool. LGS used to have dual lands for F&M prizes for several weeks back in 2015. Nuts. Very cool. John Ryan speaks highly of you. Hey, thank you very much. John Ryan is a very cool guy. Thank you very much. I like what he's been doing with Death and Taxes and trying out the red splash again. That's very cool. Oko, interesting. I think Oko Hold Up Veil is pretty sweet. They did miss a land drop, so maybe they were supposed to go after the Dryad Arbor. Especially seeing we also have the Questing Beast, which is a great blocker for a 3/3. So hopefully it doesn't come back. I also got rid of the mana through Noble Hierarch so that they couldn't say deal with this and then deal with Oko when we don't have the ability to float the mana later on. Yeah, Oko Hold Up Veil seems really nice. But yeah, I think there's definitely consideration there to elk their land, if that is their land drop, just to put them back a little bit. This looks like Decay. Alright. We will Veil in response. Rough, rough. Apologies, opponent. I feel like Jack is smiling right now. Jack, I can feel your smile. Let's save this as Veil. I'm going to quickly go to the bathroom, and then we'll go into match 3. I will be right back. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Hopefully we can take this to another win next game and then the one after. That'll be really nice. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Alright, 2-1. 2-1's not too bad. Hopefully can finish this off with a nice finish. Are we on the play? Yeah, Astrolabe's in a weird spot. It's very interesting to be playing a land up against Mental Misstep. Nice. Not sure where they're on, but this hand is pretty nice. Turn 2 Leovold is pretty sweet, so I don't mind keeping this. Yeah, I like the basic start as well, so Forest Hierarch, next turn fetch her a black source, cast Leo. When isn't Legacy in a weird spot? Come on now. I feel like there's a lot of decks that are splashing for blue that otherwise would not be splashing for blue, and I think a large part of that is Oko. Hey, the letter H between the letter I and J. Ha! H. I. Gee. Rough. Apologies, I got that wrong. Thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? Mountain. Goblin Guide. Okay. Okay, looks like we're playing against Burn. What's on top, opponent? What's on top? Courser of Kruphix. Well, Courser's pretty nice. Maybe Courser is better than Leovold. Unless I want to wait a turn. I think turn 2 Courser's pretty good here. And we'll just go for a Bayou. Leovold is better turn 2. I guess it really depends on the hand. Leo's nice because it at least draws us a card. Hey, Mondragon7, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. I guess Courser's nice if we have a land to play straight away. The other nice thing about playing Courser is that we don't give away that we have Leovold in hand, but... I think either way we're going for Bayou, because at least the green source also means we have an extra green source for Scavenging Ooze. Courser's not blocking, yeah. But I think Leovold would. I'd be happy with Leovold to block the Goblin Guide. And maybe that's a reason why I would go for Leovold this turn. I think Leovold's fine because we're not gaining life until next turn anyway. So I'd probably rather play the Courser into mana where we actually have the extra land drop. Price of Progress. Price of Progress could be interesting to play against. But I think we have a pretty good mana base to play around it. Chain Lightning. That's fine. I'm pretty happy that that actually got Chain Lightninged. Another Green Suns. Interesting. Lava Spike. Alright. Let's see if we can hit a land. We do! Oh, a double land. Nice. Okay. So let's go Courser. Sylvan Library is not really what I want. I could just fetch here for Dryad Arbor, which I don't mind. I could fetch for a dual land and play Dryad, but I probably don't want to get more than 2 duels in play. Library's nice with Courser, but it's slow. I think Library's a card that I actually just don't want to see. I guess if I Green Suns here as well, it's kind of nice because I lose a life, gain a life, and then gain a life of the Green Suns. And it means that if an Eidolon comes down, these Green Suns aren't turned off too much. Second Noble's also interesting, but I like the extra life gain that Dryad Arbor gives. It also means that Dryad Arbor isn't a land that I'm going to draw into, which is nice. I think we're fetching for Trop, and then we're Green Sunning, just to get 1 out of the deck. We can still Green Suns for higher, yes, but it does make up a lot more of our mana. It does take up a lot more of our mana. I think now's a pretty good time for a price from our opponent as well, because it does take 6. But Oko next turn's pretty nice, because I believe it makes Dryad Arbor no longer a land? Maybe it is still a land. That's an interesting question. Chain us, alright. It's not a land, okay. No attacks either. Interesting. Plague Engineer on top. Oh, we can go for Uro. Uro's pretty nice. Gains us life as well. I like Uro. Hopefully we even get a land on top then. Draw the card first. Oh, it's going to be Misty as well, which is nice. Ah, and Trop on top. Nice. That worked out really well. Play the Trop. There's probably some merit to not playing it as well, because we are getting so close to just getting priced out of the game. But I think here I like Uro more than anything else, just because then we can start getting life with the food as well. So we'll go for a snow-covered... I'm going to go for a snow-covered forest. Play Oko. I can't play Oko? Ah, because the Courser trigger is still in the stack. Sorry. Apologies. There we go. I mean, we could just die to double, double pop. So they have to have land double pop. And by pop, I mean price of progress. We get to escape next turn as well for Uro. So they kind of have to have lethal here. Sideboarding is going to be interesting. I think Flusterstorms, Fatal Push, and maybe Trinisphere on the play, probably not on the draw. I'm definitely blocking no matter what, but it looks like they're just going to let us untap. Alright, let's create a food. Let's go for Uro. What's the escape cost? Is it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we have to do something else as well. Apologies. I guess we can Green Suns for a fetch land. Yeah, Decaying the Goblin Guide isn't too bad either. That's very true. I guess gaining with food isn't too bad either. It's pretty much... So what, we're paying 4 mana to gain 3 this turn, or we just pay more for the food? I don't even mind Scavenging Ooze here instead. We can also just play Hierarch and then hold up double food, and just attack for 4 with the Courser. I don't mind that. I think that's okay. Boltos, that's fine. And then I'm just going to hold up 4 mana for the 2 food. Just being tapped out seems a little bit scary against burn, so I do like spending my mana most efficiently for the life we're going to gain. But I might just do it sparingly, so we'll see what they do in response to the first food. They only have 2 cards in hand as well, so we're actually pretty good here. I think we're definitely pretty good either way. Okay, we'll play this. Force of Negation on top. Can fetch for a swamp. Gain life off Courser. Play Uro. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Sideboarding is going to be interesting. Sylvan Library can come out. Flusterstorm and Fatal Push seem pretty good. I think that's really just all we want to be going for. Questing Beast can most likely come out. Decay is interesting. I think Decay I want for Sulfuric Vortex as well. The same for Brazen Borrower. Plague Engineer isn't the greatest either. Trinisphere is interesting. I'm not sure how good it is on the draw though. I think I'd rather just have the other Plague Engineer here. But Plague's probably one of the worser cards in the deck. Click's not that great because a lot of their stuff is instant speed as well. Last Hope is interesting, but probably not what we want to be on the draw as well. I might just play with this and see how it goes. Yeah, let's just see how this goes. Click is much better than Engineer. I guess if they are bringing in more permanent-based burn as well, then it's pretty good. If Click can take something like a Sulfuric Vortex, I'm pretty happy. And also just the ability to have a flash creature is pretty good. I feel Trinisphere has to be good as well. I'm just not sure how good it is on the draw. I think it's a lot better on the play. I could also see myself going down on... The issue is that with like Noble Hierarch, I kind of want to take them out, but I also want to keep them in because we have so many good 3-drops that I want to be able to cast on turn 2. This is 60, so I think we might see how this goes. I think these 4 cards are pretty good, so... We also have a lot of life gain already in the deck, so I think this is a pretty favored matchup. Hopefully. Hopefully. You like Questing Beast over Jace the Mind Sculptor? I like Jace because Fate Seal seems really good, especially if we can try to keep some like Price of Progresses off the table or something that's going to win in the game like the 3-mana Firecraft that can't be countered. That seems like a pretty great card in this matchup. But yeah, maybe QB is just good enough because it can close games out and they don't really have a way to block it. Polar Beach, we do have Green Suns and Leovold in the same deck. This hand's nice because we can go for basics early on. We also have a Force if needed. We can also Green Suns for Dryad Arbor on turn 1, which is nice, off a forest, so I'm going to keep this and see how it goes. Guide is fine. I think we have just too many ways to deal with it other than on the stack, so I don't really want to force it. Bayou, okay. Ooze. I still just like fetch for basic here and Green Suns. We could also hold up Brainstorm, but I think going for an early mana dork is fine. Questing Beast does block really well. Bolt is going to be okay. If anything, it builds the graveyard out for Scavenging Ooze, which is really nice. Rift Bolt, okay. Abrupt Decay, nice. I think I'm still happy just going with basics. I could play the Bayou if I wanted to see what Goblin Guide hit and then not shuffle. Like say if Courser of Kruphix is on top, I probably don't want to shuffle that away. I probably want to play it. So that's probably a good reason to play the Bayou out here. But then if we play the Bayou here, we can't play the Click. Next turn. I think Verdant Pass is okay. Verdant can go and get Trop, which can cast both Verdant and... I can't get Trop. It can get Underground Sea, which can cast both Vendilion Click if you get another blue source and Abrupt Decay. So I don't mind going with Verdant Catacombs. We will take 3 here. I don't really want to be hitting their 3 mana for 1, 3 damage for 1 spells, but if they have enough, they can just win on them. So I have to really pick my hits. Now the question is, do we reveal before we do anything? We're fetching anyway, so I feel like we fetch and then have a look. Because if we hit Underground Sea, then it's not too bad, but it's a little bit awkward. Land's nice. And now, I don't mind hitting this now. Lava Spike. Lava Spike's okay. I probably just want to play Scooze here and then protect it with Force. If they want to bolt it in response, that's fine. I'm more than happy for a 3 mana spell going at Scooze than going at us. So this is definitely something we can force. Probably hitting the Brainstorm. Although the Brainstorm's really nice to be able to put back lands. I think I'm happy actually getting rid of the click here. And then getting Scooze up to a 4 mana card, 4 power card next turn. At least we have the Underground Sea as well to brainstorm with, and then we have 2 green sources, which is nice. Force. Brainstorm. Okay, put on top. Put on top. Definitely eat our Dryad Arbor. And then, I probably don't want to attack. I don't want to lose to a... To be fair, we don't have Dryad Arbor left, so I can't just play a Misty and pass. I probably want to keep this Green Suns around for Uro. So let's go Misty pass. They have 2 cards in hand. Double price does it, because we have to fetch with the Misty anyway. So we get down to 8, take 2, take 2. I think until we get the Uro online, we can't really attack. I'd rather keep off their hasty creatures, which they still have a few on the deck. We definitely want to fetch here as well, because we know what's on top. Okay. Could be like a Prize of Progress and Fire Blast as well. Double Fire Blast. Nice. I guess we couldn't have done anything anyway. Alright. Trinisphere on the play. That's probably really it. Probably bring in Questing Beast for Jace. Probably still on the Mana Dorks because I really want to get this Trinisphere online as early as possible. I could even see myself just dropping a land. Probably a Trop if anything. Karakas could almost come out as well. Karakas doesn't do a whole lot. I'm probably not trying to save Leovold anyway. This looks pretty good. See how this goes. It was Fire Blast as well, which is pretty interesting. So if we had Force there, we could force one and then they lose. I believe they only had 4 lands in hand anyway. 4 lands in play. Alright, would love to play first. And this is an interesting one. Sadly, I don't think we can keep this. The Ice-Fangs are nice that they get to churn into other spells. I think we just want to be doing more with our hand than 2-for-1ing ourselves. The good part is we can just pitch force and then try to rebuild our hand with the Ice-Fang Coatls. Hey, HD Bot, welcome. Jack, Jitesh, what do you think? Ice-Fangs just turn on all their... If they're playing... They're most likely still playing Searing Blaze. I think I probably want to keep a hand that has some access to life gain in it. Like Green Suns. Jisesh says keep, okay. Teferi Massacre Girl came yesterday. Very cool. Very glad to hear. It's not great, but yeah, I do like that the Ice-Fangs do at least do something, so... We probably do our better 6s. Hopefully we can get there. Massacre Girl as a foil is very cool, so I'm very happy that you won that giveaway. Does anyone else just like shuffle decks? Like just randomly? It just feels good to shuffle. Oh, very nice. Yeah, it seems pretty sweet in EDH. I think these forces, if they have something like a turn 1 Swift Spear or Goblin Guide, I probably don't mind. I probably have the Ice-Fangs covered in that regard. These Force of Wills are most likely for Eidolon, Sulfuric Vortex, and maybe something like Price or Fire Blast down the line. Yeah, I hate it because I have a pretty bad habit of when I get home from Magic, I'll always order my deck by converter mana cost. Yeah, it's very true as well. The Goblin Guide did do a lot of work. Hopefully my opponent's okay. forgot about my coffee. And now it's cold. Cold brew. It's a pretty easy way to get cold brew. But yeah, Guy did a lot of work. A Courser would be really nice. Let's just go with Snow-Covered Pass. Like a Lava Spike start wouldn't be too bad. My opponent's modeled a 6 as well, so unfortunate for them. Goblin Guide. Interesting. The issue is that I don't think I'm playing these Ice-Fang Coatls with Death Touch. I'm most likely just buying time with them. And I think there are just better cards to force here. And just because if we force this Goblin Guide and then draw into removal, it's going to feel pretty bad when we don't have force for something like Fire Blast or Price of Progress, and we do have the removal in hand. So I think I'm going to let this slide. I think I'm going to let this one come down. Could double block with Ice Fangs, that's very correct. Nice, okay. Polluted Delta doesn't get basic Snow-Covered Forest, but that's okay. Another Force, okay. I think we just go Trop Pass, hold up Ice-Fang. I probably want to Ice-Fang before they, in response to them casting something, to see if we want to actually maybe force something differently if we draw into another blue spell. Interesting. Do I want to play this before the reveal? Probably doesn't matter. It digs me one card deeper. It's probably a higher chance of a land being on top, so Force of Will. Well, at least we're hitting our forces. So we can draw Force, which might, see, this might cause them to do something in response. But no, okay. I think I'm actually happy just to let this slide. And take the 2. I guess next turn we have the Ice-Fang online anyway. No, we don't. We only have the Ice-Fang on the following turn. I think I'd rather take the 2 here and then have Ice-Fangs both online next turn with a basic Snow-Covered Forest. Yeah, we do if we play the second one, which is nice. So I'm going to let this slide. And just a pass. Interesting. So that's pretty nice for us. Misty's actually quite nice as well. I think we want to go for Snow-Covered. So the interesting thing is, if we go for Snow-Covered Swamp, if we draw into Leovold, we have the mana for it without fetching and losing a life. But if we draw into something like Courser of Kruphix, we have to play the land, fetch, and then, and not gain a life off it. So I think we might just play Misty Pass. And hold up that second green source, which I think in this matchup is probably a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more needed. See what's on top. Polluted Delta, okay. Well, now we can fetch for Snow-Covered Forest. Play Ice-Fang Coatl. We have Mr. Guide trigger, I believe. I think they might try to kill this in response. Yeah. I think this is forcible. They did nothing last turn either. And I think I'm happy forcing this because then I'm not allowing this Goblin Guy to stay around. I'm going to Force Pitch Force. Force of Negation I want to keep because we can hard cast it next turn, which is really nice. If we don't draw into anything here. Oko is pretty nice. Oko is OKO. I'm just going to create a food and hopefully that allows us to start getting ahead in this match. Just a pass back, interesting. I'm just going to pass with the Polluted Delta up, because if we draw into Brainstorm, it's pretty nice. A land is great. Now we can just create another food token. I could be attacking here, or I could just be creating more and more life. I think attacking here is fine. I think because our life total is just so high, I don't mind if our opponent is going to be casting creatures. So now we have Hardcast Force of Negation or Force of Will backup. Lava Spike us. That's fine. There's probably a world here where I just want to crack one food now. Leo's pretty nice. So we can fetch for a basic. Play Leo. See if they do anything in response. Okay, that's pretty massive. Create a food token. Maybe they're trying to get to a hand where they have like multiple Fire Blasts, or they could have Exquisite Firecraft. It's going to be tough because we do have these food and force. Oko food generator, yeah. And it looks like just a pass here. I could crack a food. I'm trying to think if they have a way to deal enough damage to get through. Especially because I believe Exquisite Firecraft is a sorcery speed time. A sorcery speed spell. So I'm just going to actually let it slide. Borrow was nice. And now I'm going to start beating down. Alright, let's try to crack one. Bolt, Leovold. That's going to be fine. Ice-Fang's pretty good. I might just cast Ice-Fang here. Hey, Mike, thank you very much. All the best for your league. Enjoy it. Having the Brazen Borrower is really nice as well. I don't want to play this C because I don't want Price of Progress dealing 4 to me. And now if they cast the Sulfuric Vortex, we can just bounce it as well, which is nice. Chain Lightning us, okay. Probably do just want to hardcast Brazen Borrower. So let's gain life first. Go back to 16. And then play Brazen Borrower. Green Suns. Well, now we can Green Suns for Questing Beast, which is pretty nice. Which is so close to lethal. Could also Green Suns for Uro. I think we do have a plethora of ways here to just win the game. And I think it's time that's actually maybe gonna hit us pretty hard if we don't win this game within 5 minutes. But I think that's out of the question here. Draw a card first. Click. I'm gonna play that second one because I want to be able to attack this turn. Ah, and Brazen, sorry. That was a misplay. Apologies. Swift Spear is fine. Attacks are fine. No blocks. Price, I'm pretty happy to force. Pitching, Force of Negation. Price. They only have one card left. I think I'm happy just forcing this. Maybe I'll let it slide. This is fine. I could fetch and hardcast Force of Negation as well, but I think here I just want to eat. I just want to play the eat the food, which pretty much neuters the force anyway, or the Price of Progress. See what we draw off the Uro. One, two, three, four, five. Draw first. Flusterstorm. I don't believe they're able to actually deal 15 in one turn, especially with only 2 non-basics out. This deck just has so many different like variants of attack and so many ways to draw cards. It's just, there's so much like on the board. Fire Blast. We can definitely just Flusterstorm this. check target a Fire Blast. HG Butt, that's very true. If they're Fire Blasting themselves to win gracefully, then that's fair. I think I definitely could have played that game a lot cleaner. I think playing this deck for the first time definitely showed in that matchup. If not against the Loam matchup as well, but hopefully with time we can get some cleaner matches. But we're 3-1, which is nice. Alright. See how we go on this one. Up against Tune. I think this is interesting. We have the Dryad Arbor, but we have no actual start with green mana. So I don't really like this hand. It's a little bit all over the place. I think we can mulligan to a better 6. This isn't it, unfortunately. Okay, we can keep this. If we bottom the Dryad Arbor, and probably 1 Decay. We can just draw into Uro, which would be pretty nice. Or Oko. Oko, I mean, is a lot better. Trop. Green Suns, okay. Misty. Misty's nice because we can hold up Force of Negation. Or we can just create another food. Just gonna go for Trop here. I could go for Snow Covered, but I kind of want to make sure that I have my my mana covered if we lose the Goose. Nice. I think just hold up Goose pass. Goose also blocks Dryad Arbor pretty well, which is kind of funny. No, sadly, it's the I have my aircon on pretty cold when I go to bed, so sometimes in the mornings I do have the sniffs. Luckily. But thank you, Mayor Ford. Loam. Loam would be pretty nice to have with Force Negation, I'll be honest. Thank you, Jack, for backing that up. Okay, Bob's a pretty good hit for Duck for Abrupt Decay. I guess I'd probably rather make the mana here, because then we have more mana next turn. So I'm actually going to make a mana here, then untap. Because if we draw to, like, Plague Engineer, that's pretty nice as well. And then we can keep the Decay for something else. Brainstorm. Maybe I want to Brainstorm first here. Maybe I want to Brainstorm off the Gilded Goose, but maybe I want to keep the food around as well. Jace is pretty nice. Put this on top and put this on top. Play Misty. Decay the Bob and then just pass back. I could have also gone Jace Bounce. Maybe Jace Bounce was correct. Heroes in the bin. So if they have a fetch land, they can actually get back Uro. That's pretty good. Or even just a 1-mana spell and another land. I think there it's probably better just to Jace, because we had the mana, right? We've brainstormed and then 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. I guess the downside is if the Jace gets hit with Force. Abrupt Decay can't, but maybe this is just a BUG Loam deck that's not actually playing Force of Will, which I assume it's going to be, if seeing that we saw the Dark Confidant there. In PNG, they call that evil spirits in the air conditioning. Huh. The more you know. Loam's gonna be fine. Scoos, okay. So it looks like, unless we draw something pretty good, we're definitely fetching here, most likely just for another snow-covered island. Now the question is, do I want to bounce? I think I want to bounce Scoos here. I guess we can also draw into Abrupt Decay for the Scoos, but we can't cast it off the snow-covered island. I kind of want to keep it at a land up in case we draw into a fetch land, but maybe the play was to actually play the snow-covered island and then hold up one of these two so we could cast Abrupt Decay off Gilded Goose. I think I bounce the Scoos, because if they get rid of the Jace next turn by dealing with the Gilded Goose, which is probably pretty easy for them, I think I'm happy with that. And then we get a whole turn with Jace, which is nice. They also most likely Loam in their upkeep, so Uro's most likely coming down next turn, which is pretty rough. We don't have a great way to deal with Uro. I guess we can decay it and eat it with Scoos. That's pretty much it. At least a Knight hit the bin, that's pretty good for us. I think here we're really just sixing, to be honest. Just to save some time. Green Sun's for 3, okay. Probably a Knight? Leovold, interesting. Leo's pretty good. Leo really stops Jace, and the Karakas as well is pretty nice. Okay. Alright, right on time. Make them return the Leo and then we can brainstorm. Not the greatest because it gives them a card, but at least it allows us to turn Jace back on. Borrower is really nice. And we do have the mana to cast it, thankfully, so we'll go put on top, put on top. Draw the fetch land. Haha! Basic swamps, I definitely value your opinion. Interesting to see if they go after the Gilded Goose here, because if they do, they force us to actually use the food for mana. We added blue for the Leo. Yeah, I want to bounce Leo so I can save the Jace. They do get to recast Leo as Leobutt, which is annoying, but I think I'd rather just keep the Jace around for now. Interesting that they're going to use the Karakas when we're bouncing it anyway. That seems odd. Ah, does that mean he gets exiled? Or does that just stop the Brazen Borrower? Interesting. Okay, that's kind of cool. So what that does is actually fizzle Petty Theft. And that means we can't actually cast Brazen Borrower as a creature later on. That's kind of cool. That's a heads-up play. I like that. Yeah, very cool. I wonder then if they play Leovold here, we can bounce it, tick up, make a food, and then the following turn we can see if we can actually take control of it. I guess they can also attack with Dryad Arbor here. Oh, we put a Misty on top. Do we still have Dryad Arbor? I think we put a Misty on top, so we can fetch Dryad Arbor and then switch it with the Oko, but then they can Karakas it back to their hand anyway. Rough, okay. So no great outs either. To Verdant. Yeah, so if we play Verdant, get Dryad Arbor, and then switch Dryad Arbor with Leo, they can then just Karakas the Leo back to their hand and gain control of it. Yeah, Elk Brainstorm seems... seems like the only play. They're just getting so much value off this as well, which kind of sucks. Should have definitely fetched, because we knew about the cards on top being at least a forest, but I didn't know about these two fetches. I think that really with the Uro in the bin as well, this is just a game that we're not going to win. So we have to try to go for it in the board. Veil seems great. Push seems okay. Gonna keep 2 forces. I like Force of Negation for the Loam as well. Beast we took out last time. I think their creatures are just so much bigger than Questing Beast is, so I'm not a big fan of Beast in this matchup. As good as it is if we do have, you know, like an exalted creature in play and they have planeswalkers instead of threats, but otherwise I think that Questing Beast just isn't really good enough. I think Tracker is probably a little bit better. Hey, Adrian, welcome. Currently in match 5 against 4-color Loam. Can probably drop down on a Leovold if they're playing Karakas, but it's nice that they actually... It does draw us a lot of cards in this matchup. Beast does seem pretty good, but when they have, you know, Knights that are at least 5/5s and Uro, I just don't really see it, especially when they have Karakas as well. I just don't think this is a matchup where you want Questing Beast. Which sucks, because I'm a big fan of it, but I just don't think that it lines up well against their creatures. Sadly. It might just be a Hierarch here. Yeah, Borrow is interesting. There's not too many things it can bounce that's great. Sylvan Library is one of them, and maybe like Duck Confidant, but it's really just about, yeah. Maybe actually I do like the Hierarch better because we have so many good turn 3 plays. Liliana's interesting as well, but I think Leyline is actually not too bad because it does deal with Bob as well. Maybe I will just go down to 1 Leo. Double Leo can be pretty annoying in the opening hand, or in any hand. I think Leyline has a bit of luck, which is nice. I'm gonna go with this. We're gonna see how this goes, and hopefully if there's a game 3, we can look back at the sideboard. Love to play first. And this hand isn't too bad. Turn 1 Noble Hierarch, turn 2 Decay, we have Brainstorm as well. I probably like here just going for Snow-Covered Forest into Noble Hierarch, just to make sure our mana's on point. I could go for Bayou if I wanted to, but if we're drawing into Liliana Last Hope, we're not getting double black anyway. Mox Diamond's fine. Mox Diamond, okay. Interesting. Maybe Loam? Loam's fine. I think I like just fetch here, and then we can Brainstorm and also Decay. It also plays around Wasteland, which is nice. And then hopefully next turn we can Green Suns for Scoos and eat the Loam that's left over, if we're lucky. Even if they Uro this turn, we can actually hit it as well, which is cool. Unless they have some sort of cycle land, but we don't have Ouphe. We could bring in Ouphe if we wanted to target Mox Diamond pretty hard, but we didn't. Loam's cool. See if they tap out here. I'd love to be able to Brainstorm and then Decay an actual threat and then just eat Loam. Even though it's done a lot of work already by giving them pretty much enough lands for the rest of the game, I'm pretty happy to deal with it. Library's actually a great card to hit, so this is fine. The question actually is, I probably just don't even want to Brainstorm here. I have a pretty good hand, and I probably just want to keep the Brainstorms until we have a hand that I want to Brainstorm away. Oro's fine. Interesting, just making a food. Now they have Abrupt Decay mana up as well. Dark Confidant, okay. Okay, interesting. I'm gonna Brainstorm first. Probably Brainstorm off the Trop because at least Noble Hierarch is more colors. We don't need the white though, so. Put on top. Put on top. Land. Could Green Suns for 3 here. I could also just Oko the Dark Confidant. Pretty happy attacking Uro first. Sorry, Oko. And then just Okoing the Dark Confidant. They can now, however, actually deal with our Oko by making the food a 3/3. I guess I didn't want to trade the Skoos anyway for one of their attackers, so I don't mind losing the Oko here. What I could have done is left up Dryad Arbor by keeping the Misty instead of the Polluted Delta, so I have an actual blocker. Maybe that was the correct play. Because this is pretty bad. Yeah, but at least if I'm losing the Oko to Decay, it's not one of my threats that I'm losing to Decay. I'm just going to go for a Snow Covered here. Oh, I guess we can go for Questing Beast. Oh, did we take Questing Beast out? Haha, of course we did. It does look great right now. Okay, so we could get another Noble Hierarch if we have one, and then kill the Oko by attacking for 4. Hey, Timmy, we are running Uro. I think attacking into the Oko is fine. And I kind of want to kill it this turn, so I think we just have to go for an Exalted Creature. There's no other way to kill it this turn. Hey, Roots is more than fine. And now, outside of Abrupt Decay, we do have Counter Magic for any removal, which is nice. Questing Beast is in the board. Yeah, sadly this is just one of those moments where it is really good, but otherwise I think the Knights and the Uro just keep it at bay too early. And they have Decay, rough. I don't mind Brainstorm here just to try to find some sort of threat. I guess Green Suns is pretty nice. The Force is kind of dead as well. I guess if we draw that land on top, we can get Uro into play next turn. And then we also know a land's on top as well, but we are going to actually get a... Ah, wow, Bog's so good. I guess Tireless Tracker is now our hit. Rough. They can also just trade, yeah, they can also just trade the Tireless Tracker for the Mox Diamond. So I'm gonna have to like draw off the clue into Veil of Summer. That's my out. But otherwise, it looks like game, unfortunately. Both the Loam decks just grind so well, and the Mox Diamonds are so much better than Noble Hierarchs. Especially with the Loam in the deck, they can just get back the land they lose to Mox Diamond anyway. Bob's as well, really nice. Just allowing that card advantage to really get going as early as turn 2. Veil doesn't even do it, because then we have to tap both our blockers and we just lose to any sort of attack. I guess we'll see what they do, but unfortunately that's 2 games this league down to Loam. So maybe I just need to know the matchup a little bit better. even just little things, like when we cast our Oko, we had the choice of keeping Polluted Delta or Verdant, and we didn't keep Verdant, which could have kept the Oko alive because we could have gone for Dryad Arbor as just a chump blocker. Oko races, am I right? Sweet deck though. I think the more time I put into it, the more I'll definitely learn about the deck as well. Trading those, I think we'll definitely just crack the clue then. Could even draw into a blue card? I guess we know there's a land on top, right? Decay, okay. A little bit late. Yeah, really sweet deck. Not the greatest of spots. I don't think we actually have an out to this. Ay, ay, ay. Hey, Javik. Welcome to the stream. Unfortunately, we're going down in this game and we're about to leave. But we'll see what we draw into. Uro does give us some amount of game. Veil, a little bit too late. Veil there would have been really nice. Rough. Good games. So 3-2 overall, going down to Loam twice. We do get one treasure chest, which is kind of nice. We might as well open those up. Blech. 20 play points. Nice. But the deck felt really nice. In that spot, Uro seemed really good, but I mean, Questing Beast, and maybe Questing Beast is okay against Loam, like even just to have it in the deck as a one-of. There's just so many more, I feel like there's so many more positions where it's not going to be doing anything compared to where it can actually just clean out an Oko or do something else. But it was pretty perfect there because we had the Noble Hierarch for Exalted and the Oko was on 5, so Questing Beast would have been really sweet, but obviously wasn't there. The deck is really fun to play. Obviously, there's a lot of play to it, so I'll probably put some leagues on YouTube that I won't be streaming, and then hopefully come back to the stream with a little bit more time with the deck and a few more reps. But that is me. A huge thank you to you guys that came in and followed. To the new subs, that means a hell of a lot. Really cool. I do have some content coming out next week on the greensunzenith.com, which is really cool. So that'll be the Maverick Monthly, which will be an update on everything that's come out in March. And then also a few other things. Professor Zero, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what you play in Legacy. A huge thank you to everyone in chat who just really, it's really good to hear back from people who just have, like, can see a line that I can't see, because there's definitely a lot of really good players in chat. Obviously, this is my first time with the deck, so actually going 3-2 wasn't the worst, but it would have been nicer to do a little bit better. So a huge thank you to everyone in chat who put in the time to actually comment their lines, or maybe how I could have done something better, because that's always really good to hear when I'm trying out a new deck and seeing what I can improve on. And I think even a little thing like making sure that I'm fetching a little bit more for the basics early on than the dual lands. As nice as it is to get my mana online ASAP, I think you can still do that appropriately by also getting the snow-covered forests to turn on things like Ice-Fang Coatl. So that's definitely something to consider as well. But there's some pretty good games in there. I think this deck has a lot of play to it. It's nice to be playing a Green Sun Zenith deck that also has Force of Will, because you can just also have a bit of game in game 1 against the unfair decks. You're a Delver guy from Missouri? Very cool. Hopefully Missouri's doing alright through the virus right now, because that's obviously a bit of an issue. I'm going to send you guys over probably to... I'm going to see who's playing some Legacy right now. But yeah, this will be up on my YouTube. You can find my YouTube at YouTube/Dukes on Twitch. You can also find me on Twitter at twitter/DugsOnTwitch. There is my YouTube channel with all my leagues and all just like recorded games as well, where I just do commentary. And then you can also find me so close on Twitter. If you guys are on Twitter, hit me up. I do giveaways, a few other things. Have some pretty good times with some other guys. Obviously, some pretty well-known legacy guys on Twitter. It's a pretty great place for Magic. Quickly find someone to raid. I think Yamakill is pretty cool. A huge thank you again to everyone. I'll be back tomorrow morning, probably with this deck again. We'll try to do it better than a 3-2, which will be really nice. So I'll hopefully see you there. Thank you very much again. All the best. Enjoy this raid.